Bellator Japan. December 29th, Jayme Hinshaw will make her return. Thank you so much for coming on the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Now you're in New Mexico, and I'm all the way over here in Korea, which is right, like a 2-hour plane ride from Japan. It's winter time. How's the weather out there in New Mexico?
The weather out here in New Mexico, it's always like bipolar, we
Hmm.
call it. It's some days it's snowing and then it rains or like sunny and then it turns cloudy. It can't make up its mind. But right now it's kind of all right. We did have some snow, like I think last week or something like that. So yeah, we've had a little bit of snow. It stayed for like a day or two, and then that was it.
Well, I guess the weather won't be too much of a problem. Some fighters are coming from like tropical regions to fight in Japan, and it's winter time right now. So getting when you get here, it could be a problem for some people.
Yeah, yeah. With me, I'm always kind of cold or hot, so it doesn't really matter to me.
I'd going back to what I said earlier about not fighting for a while. It's been uh a long time. The last time we saw you was in July of 2018, defending the King of the Cage atomweight title. Now, the first thing I want to know is what is up with the atomweight title? Do you still hold the title, or?
I still hold it. We actually were. I had two fights. One of them, we were gonna go and defend it again. I actually got injured and had to go through surgery. And then we scheduled another fight with Grace Cleveland. And then during that fight camp, she got injured and had to have surgery. So that's kind of where we stood with that. And I was just waiting for another replacement, and we haven't got one yet. And then this opportunity came, and I jumped on it because, like I said, I haven't been active and been in the cage in like over a year. It's been, I think, about a year and 5 months, I believe. So yeah, it's been a while.
The injury that you had and the surgery, what was the injury, and how did the surgery go? How did the recovery, go? Was it difficult for you to go through an injury like that, or have you been injured like that and had to go through surgery?
I've been injured before. Whenever I actually won the King of the Cage title, I broke my arm in the first round during that fight, and I had to have surgery and get a plate and some screws in my arm. So I've had an injury before and had surgery. This one, it was my bicep. It was 90% detached. I was training, and in training, I just felt it like like something went wrong, and I couldn't lift my arm. Like as soon as my adrenaline came down, I couldn't lift my arm, and I knew something was wrong. And then I went to the doctor, and they're like, "We need to do surgery and finish detaching it, and then reattach it to your like anchor it into your arm." The surgery went great. I recovered well. Like I said, that was with the first. We were supposed to fight, and then I recovered, and then we got another fight with Grace Cleveland. My fight camp was actually going great, and it kind of sucked that she got injured. But like I said, I know how it is. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I've been injured too and had to have surgery. So I didn't get mad at her. I just got mad at the situation. It's like, dang it, I can't fight now. And I was just like, can you find some replacement? And they just couldn't.
Did you continue to train? Did you continue to just believe in your mind, like, I have a fight coming up, even though, Grace pulled out, you're like, okay, an opportunity's gonna come up. I'm just gonna train, I'm just gonna continue grinding. Is that what the mindset was since before you actually got the Bellator fight?
Yeah, I was sitting there, and I knew from the previous injury that I just had to stay in the gym and keep active, do what I could do until I could go back to 100%. Said we know that opportunities always come here and there, and if you're not ready, then they just pass you by. And I don't want that. I want all the opportunities that I can have, so I try to stay ready.
You were returning from a bicep detachment. to fight or defend your title, and then they cancel the fight. Do you feel like it, in a way, could you look at the positive sides of it of like, okay, I had a longer time to, recover from my surgery and actually have my bicep much stronger now heading into this fight with Bellator?
Yes. Like I said, we never like the doctor said it was 90% detached already. So I guess I was having problems with it. I just kind of didn't really realize how serious it was. So I'm kind of glad that it did go out in practice and not in the fight. Because, yeah, that would really suck.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so, yeah, I guess I'm kind of glad so I could recover and could be as 100%, well, as much as 100% as I can coming into this fight.
King of the Cage, I I believe that they've had some situations with their champions or their fighters. How was dealing with them to get a fight outside of the promotion?
Um, well, they're really Terry. He's really good with letting us go to like Japan and fight with Ryzen and everything like that. So there wasn't like no issue. Um, I was under contract with them. I believe that since I have been inactive for so long and they couldn't get me a fight, I don't believe I'm under contract with them anymore. So like I said, I don't think there's any issue, even if I was.
The deal with Bellator, how did that all come together? Like being out of action for so long and looking for a fight. How did that get put together? The fight.
I believe it was just me keep on badgering my
Mhm.
coach, and he just knew that, you know what I mean, that I wanted to fight and everything. So he's just been putting my name out there, and this opportunity came, and we jumped on it.
That's awesome. That's you need to have those people around you, and sometimes you do need to kind of pursue people to get you what you want, right?
Yes.
Now, being out for so long, being a fighter, was it frustrating, getting those fights canceled? Of course, you mentioned it earlier that you were just mad at the situation, but like what did you do for money? Were you working outside of training? What was going on during that time?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately. I have been struggling and stuff since then because I haven't been able to fight. Like it kind of just, I'm used to being very active. If you've seen my career and you look at the dates of how, like, I fight every couple months if I can and healthy. So mentally, it kind of brought me down a lot. And I like struggled with depression a lot. And I've struggled with depression before in my life, like younger. But this one, it kind of hit me pretty hard because, like I said, it was so long. But I'm doing a lot better now,
Mm.
especially as soon as I got heard the fight news. That helped a lot with with it. So yeah.
Yeah, you just need to get that little kick, right? The little good news will go a long way.
Yes, I'm kind of like a goal oriented person. Like I have to have a reason or a set thing to get motivated and to um, do things and be happy.
Speaking of motivation, the opponent that you're getting is probably the highest profile opponent, especially in Asia. She's a former champion, which probably makes you really happy, right?
Yes. Yes, this is actually what I've been wanting for a long time. I love to be able to test myself and to be able to come up against these girls and prove to myself and prove to see what I'm capable of. If you've noticed, like I've never been in any sports whenever I was a kid. I was kind of more like the person that drinking, smoking pot, smoking cigarettes and just stupid stuff. Um, so me actually, I was over 21, I believe, whenever I actually stepped into a gym and actually even started to become an athlete or do anything competitive or sports like. And all my opponents, they've had like a background when they were kids, always like in sports or mixed martial arts or some type of um, martial arts. And I've gone against everyone with more experience and with that background, and I've proved to be able to stand with them. So Yeah, that gave me a good sense of confidence. Of like, yes, this is where I belong.
Your situation, like you mentioned right now, of starting later in life with martial arts, and your opponents are starting early in life, does that kind of put a chip on your shoulder when you step into that cage, and give you that extra motivation in training, and actually when you step into the cage to kind of prove everybody wrong? Do you have that underdog mentality, so to say?
I've always like felt like I was the underdog, even as the champ. You know what I mean? I was always, if you look on the thing, people always still expected me to lose. I don't know, like I don't believe so because like I've always been a fighter at heart. Here in New Mexico, fighting is a way of life. I've always used to try to get in fights either because I had to or just for fun. So like I've always been a fighter at heart, so it hasn't changed anything. Like I said, I know who I am. So
All right. Well, now you get to fight at 108 pounds, and that's an extra 3 pounds. And everybody, probably, really, the casual fan doesn't really know what that means. 3 pounds is a lot, because that's food right there, right? So what about you? It doesn't seem like you have that much trouble, like, getting to the weight that you're at, right?
no, I always stay pretty low in my weight. I try not to get over 120 just because I don't like to have a bad weight cut. I don't like to feel shitty. I like to feel pretty good in the cage. I don't want to, like, I have confidence in myself and my skills. I don't feel the need to be the heavier opponent. And yeah, like I said, I just go out there and I, I try to walk around whenever I'm very healthy. I'm constantly in the gym. And whenever I was constantly in fight camp, I was weighing to 115, 117 at the heaviest. So it's basically just kind of eating somewhat all right, good, like somewhat healthy, and then just taking a hot bath and I make the weight. So this is going to be a lot easier. I just won't have to take a bath for as long, I guess.
Definitely, definitely. Now, the rules, it's rising rules. I believe that is knees to a grounded opponent. Something new for you. It's exciting, I think, because there's a lot of positions where you fight in North American, promotions, where you could have knees, especially in that north-south position, or the side control, where the knees would come in handy. Are you excited in that proposition, that you can be in that position and just rain down knees and actually finish a fight like that?
Yes, I'm actually very excited about the roles, and we both like we wanted elbows. She agreed, so we actually have elbows as well. Um, it feels like more of a street fight whenever I'm training now for it. It feels more natural to me, so I'm very excited. I would love to after this actually even go and fight under those rules again.
Yeah. Uh, Training for that. What adjustments have you made to train for those rules?
Not much, is just seeing some opportunities where I couldn't. Like you said, the rules, and just capitalizing on them. Like I said, it feels natural to me. It feels like how I was on the streets fighting. So yeah, I see that, and I'm already ready to go after it. So.
When Bellator and Ryzen come and say, "Hey, we're gonna decide the rules," instead of the commission telling you these are the rules, uh, negotiating the rules, how did that go for you?
Um, my coach kind of more or less did all that. I said, I would like elbows, and that was it. And he just came with the rules, and he's like, "Are you okay with it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I am. Let's do it."
Now, your coach, you mentioned him a few times. Who is your coach? Of course, you train at Fit NHB in New Mexico. Who is your coach? And talk about him, and how he has developed your game, and where you're at right now. Maybe you wouldn't be where you're at right now without him.
Yeah, Tom Vaughn, he's my coach and my manager. He's the one that works with me mostly one on one. I do have my wrestling coach JJ and my striking coach Arlene, but I mostly work with Tom one-on-one, and he's like the grappling one. And he's shows me everything all the way around. My dad had passed away whenever I was 13, so I've never really had a father figure growing up, and he's been that for me. So yeah, I'm very thankful for him, and for him to be able to see what others didn't see in me, and to believe in me and to continue to work with me. I appreciate it so much.
I saw in another interview that you did that, two things that you wanted to do was become a champ and fight in Japan. What was your first exposure to Japanese MMA?
Actually, me going and working out at Fit HB, um, they had a couple fighters go out there while I was training, and just the way that they talked about it, I got to watch the fights with that, in the middle of the night, all sitting there watching it, and then just the way that they talked and just seeing the event, it gives me goosebumps now. I was like, that's amazing. I would love to experience that. Like, yeah, it was a dream, and I've accomplished both of those. So now we just gotta set another goal.
You go from King of the Cage, dominating that promotion, and then now you're going to this massive, massive show, Bellator, Pan, and then the main event is Fedor legend, Rampage legend, right? And I think Rampage comes from King of the Cage, if I believe so. I think he started out over there, right? What do you think of
Yeah.
that fight? You're gonna be fighting on a card with those guys headlining.
I know everyone's like so excited about that. Like, it's awesome. But right now, I want to be honest. I'm just kind of more focused on myself and me getting ready and getting out there, and me performing. And once I do my thing, I could go sit back in the seats and enjoy the rest of the show.
Your fight with Kanna, everybody knows what Kanna brings. She brings the wrestling, she brings the submissions. Do you feel like I'm gonna knock her out? I'm gonna put her on the feet. I'm gonna defend and just punish her. Is that kind of like the mentality that you bring into this fight, or is it like, okay, I'll wrestle, I'll go on the ground and I'll submit her?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and whatever presents itself, I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna just go out there and just say I'm just gonna wrestle, or I'm just gonna try to submission, or I'm just gonna try striking, because that always goes out the door once you get hit in the face, and things don't always go what you plan. So yeah, I'm just working on everything, and wherever the fight takes it, we're gonna go. There was actually one time I did decide right before a fight to change up and just do just straight stand up, because the girl in the interview, she said that my footwork was very crappy and my stand up wasn't good, that her stand up was better, and that's where she was going to dominate. So I decided right before I walked out, I was like, all right, then I'm going to stand. I'm not even going to try to take you down, and I'm just going to beat you at your own game. And I did, unanimous decision with that. So that felt pretty good. So I guess it just depends on, as soon as I get into the cage or the ring, what I feel.
Getting on this card, I feel like it's gonna open a lot of doors for you, especially if you get your hand raised at the end of the night. What do you see happening in 2020? Do you feel like you want to go back out to Japan more, or do you want to kind of defend your belt for King of the Cage, or do both? Who knows?
Honestly, I think I would love to go back out and for Japan. Like I said, the rules sets over there excites me so much. I believe that I'm already done with King of the Cage. It was a stepping stone. I'm grateful for all the opportunities and everything that it has helped me and opened for me. But I think that that's kind of more or less in my past now. So
Yeah, it seems like Ryzen has probably the best atomweight division other than Invicta, right? Invicta, of course, they have a phenomenal atomweight division. Great fighters on both sides, jumping in anywhere in there, right? Invicta or Ryzen would be fun for you.
yeah, like I said, we're gonna focus on this fight, see where it goes, and then after that, kind of see and take it from there. I'm not going to try to plan ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because when you do that, things don't usually go the way you plan or expect. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just going to focus on this, see what happens, and then see what happens, and then we'll go from there.
All right, well, December 29th, Bellator 237, Saitama Super Arena. Jayme Hinshaw, thank you so much for the time. I'm excited to see you come back and compete, because it's been so long, and especially against an opponent like Kanna Asakura, I feel like she will bring the best out of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the time, enjoy the rest of the year, and have fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. The pleasure was all mine.